to defect. It was certainly worth the attempt. He had excellent working knowledge of the VM reactor cores that powered the Soviet Yankee and Victor-class submarines. It was rare to be presented with an opportunity to acquire intelligence of that kind of strategic value. Eloise had been given the assignment and had been in Komsomolsk for the last 3 months. It had proven to be challenging, but Eloise was beautiful and smart and had made good progress. At 23, she was the youngest active SIS field operative and spoke Russian, Polish, and Ukrainian fluently. She had followed Kalashnik for a week and, once she had an idea of his character and habits, had introduced herself at the bar he visited near to his apartment. They had drained a half-liter bottle of Kubanskaya and, both a little drunk, had gone back to his apartment. He had tried to sleep with her, but, feigning coyness, she had said that she would rather wait. She had let him stew for a week and then returned to the bar. There had followed a series of dates, an exhibition at the Artists' Union Exhibition Hall, a walk in Süderstreutel Park, a day at the zoo. She spent their early meetings assessing his character. He had few friends and unvarnished social skills, yet he had proven to be charming company. He was an acerbic and funny conversationalist, thoughtful and kind and fascinated by almost any topic. He told her that he was a pacifist and, eventually, that he did not approve of the focus of his work. He knew that it was forbidden to talk about what he did at the shipyard, but he had grown to trust her, and she could see that he wanted to unburden himself. He said that he hated the military purpose of his work, and that he was more interested in finding a job that would allow him to work on civilian applications of nuclear technology. He quoted the slogan of the Ministry of Energy and Electrification, "High bud atom robitnikom, a ne soldatum." Let the atom be a worker, not a soldier. She had made her play as they went for a walk along the banks of the Amur, stopping to watch as one of the submarines that he worked on slid through the gentle waves in the center of the channel. She told him that she knew he was unhappy with his life and, if he was interested, she might be able to help him make things better. She knew that he had fallen for her, and that fact, added to his disenchantment with the work he was being asked to do, gave her the confidence to take a risk and identify herself as a British agent. His first reaction had been horror and then anger. He contended that she did not love him as she had said, that she was sleeping with him in order to win his defection. She told him that she had been told to make an approach, but that, over the course of their time together, she had developed feelings for him. She explained that she was taking a serious risk and that she had been persuaded to do so by the prospect of the more open and honest relationship that they would be able to have in London. Unmoved, he had stormed off, furious, but, after a week in which she did not hear from him, he had appeared at the door to her apartment one night to confess that he loved her, that he missed her, and that he wanted to be with her. Now all that was needed was to seal the deal. Eloise had always been careful about being with Kalashnik in public. There was nothing to suggest that the KGB were aware of her, but he was engaged in sensitive projects, and it would not have been unusual for him to be assigned a watcher every now and again. She had chosen this rendezvous carefully, knowing that if she arrived before he did, she would be able to look for the telltale signs of surveillance. The Soviet Far East was not an attractive posting, and that meant that the KGB agents working here were usually less able than those sent to larger cities. She stood and, checking for anything that might suggest that she was being watched, made her way down to where Kalashnik was standing. "Kotyunok," he said, using the term of endearment, kitten, that he reserved for her. "Milyi," she said, using the word for darling. "I needed to see you." "Why?" "There's been a development. I need to talk to you about it." "Here?" "I was hoping I could come to your apartment." He looked at her, conflicted. The prospect of time alone with her was one she knew he found hard to resist, but he had told her that he was concerned about what would happen to him if they were discovered. "There's no one here," she pressed.